We're meeting today for the first time in this distinguished chamber with a deep sense of urgency and responsibility given the worsening of the situation in the Gaza Strip and its implications for regional and global stability. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza, as has been documented by various United Nations agencies, has achieved ever more alarming proportions. More than 45,000 people are dead, tens of thousands are wounded, and more than 2 million people have been displaced from one end of the other of the strip. They have urgent needs, access to food, drinking water, and medical care and shelter, particularly given the bad weather. The reports refer to young people that have lost their babies that have lost their lives due to hypothermia. This is just so shocking. The report of the Secretary General on the implementation of Resolution 2334 highlights that basic services in Gaza have been completely devastated, with health services in a critical situation and an imminent risk of the total collapse of the system due to the serious lack of medication, ambulances, and treatments essential for saving lives, as well as electricity and drinking water. This situation is getting more and more dramatic. So much so, in fact, that the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, informed us in December that after 14 months of bombing, Gaza is now home to the greatest number of amputee children in modern history. In addition to the risk to life and the physical well-being and protection, more than 540,000 women and girls in Gaza are facing an urgent need for access to essential products that will enable them to cope with their menstruation in conditions of dignity, health, and well-being, which is fundamental not only to preserve their health, their physical health, but also to protect their health and ensure the quality of care in the midst of a humanitarian crisis that continues to worsen. We express our concern at the fact that the hospitals and healthcare workers, schools and UN installations and other protected areas continue to be attacked in the armed conflict, which is hindering the provision of essential services and the provision of humanitarian aid to the Palestinian population, which, according to the Director General of the WHO, he said that hospitals have been converted once again into battlefields. We express our solidarity with the Director of the WHO, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, who was a victim of an attack in Yemen, where he was risking his life to protect the freedom of United Nations officials and other civilians. We robustly reject attacks against humanitarian assistance workers and UN staff. These attacks are unjustified. These people are risking their lives working in extremely difficult conditions to ensure that they provide care to those that need it. These actions, these acts of attack are unacceptable. We're also very much concerned about the information contained in the briefings, and we reaffirm that the protection of hospitals in wartime is essential, and they of course should not be used for military purposes, but their protection is essential, and this must be guaranteed and respected by all parties at all times. Panama insists on the urgent need to keep the crossing points open in order to facilitate the flow of vital humanitarian assistance in an unhindered manner, including medical and health care. And we would remind all parties of their obligation to ensure that this aid directly reaches the civilians that need it in accordance with the provisions of the resolutions adopted by this Council.